So it is my debut back to YouTube. Hi guys, it's Ashley and I am currently a third-year medical student. So today I just wanted to talk about what life is like now as a third year. I don't know how long it's been since I've been around, probably before STEP, which is almost a year at this point in time. So I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about like what third year is like and how it is definitely way more rigorous than the first 2 years, even though I know that's hard to fathom if you haven't come to this point, but it can get worse, and it does get worse. So one of the first things of third year, which makes it super crazy, is the decreased amount of time. Like you think you have no time now if you're a first or second year, but it decreases in third year, and then I'm going to believe people it decreases even more in residency, but I'm not there yet. So I believe that's super challenging because you have to learn how to do all of your studying and personal things in the time that it takes you to get home, because most days you are working from the hospital, like 8 to 5 schedule. You're there for at least 8 hours, 8 to 12, maybe some days a little bit less if your resident lets you off early, but there's no way to predict kind of what your schedule is going to be from day to day, if that makes sense somewhat. But you could leave early or you could stay later. So one of the things that I personally missed being able to do was I went to the gym 5 times a week, pre-medical school, kind of early in first year, kind of went down to 3, and at this point I am working out when I can. By the time you get home, you just probably have like enough energy to do like 20 U-World questions, read a little bit, cook yourself dinner, and by then you're going to be super tired. So I would say that is the hardest part about adjusting to third year for me. It's the time constraints that you now face of having to be present in the inpatient and outpatient setting, and then as well still doing that same amount of studying kind of that you were doing first and second year. So in that reduced time, you're going to relearn yourself. You've probably already gone through 50 million epiphanies in medical school about the person you are, and you're going to go through another one in third year. You're going to learn how to reprioritize your time. You're going to dedicate different days to different things, find weird ways that you work in friends and family and personal time for you. But it definitely is very stressful because you are now on the floors, but you're also relearning yourself as a person, because how you feel, mental and physical and emotional wise, all matters too, and how you will do in your performance for school. Second thing about third year, and it's actually good, like you get confidence in your knowledge. Even though STEP is freaking crazy, all of that information you see will come up again in your core clerkships. And so like when you're a part of the team with the attendings and the residents and the pharmacists, you're like, oh yeah, I know that drug, oh yeah, I know that disease, like oh yeah, like this kind of feels like this a little bit from what I'm thinking, or other people like this feels like this. Like I feel so confident in my knowledge and the knowledge that I am gaining. Like I'm like, wow, like that's what these first 2 years were for. Wow, that's what I went through all that heck of STEP to go over all those things and refresh myself, because when you get on the floors you feel so empowered. You feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm really doctoring. Like no, for real, that's my favorite part of third year. Like I feel like, oh my gosh, this is what I have waited for all of my life, and I'm doctoring. Like I'm not a fully like MD, but like I'm on my way. Like, and you definitely gain a lot of confidence in yourself, and be proud. You've come a long way. You've earned this. You know what you're doing. It's okay to be a beginner. You're not gonna know everything, but have confidence in yourself. So transitioning with that, third year you also find a lot of learning gaps. So in that you get a lot of random assignments from attendings to have ready for presentation on rounds the next day, which adds another thing if you already had a busy night of personal study. These knowledge gaps, sometimes you can feel like, oh my gosh, did I just not learn this enough? And it can be kind of disappointing, but it's okay. Like you're a beginner, you're a third year. These people have been doing this for years upon years. So just relish in the fact that they're taking their time to identify like, hey, pay attention to this. This is important, because that might have been something they didn't know either, and they're showing it to you early. So yeah, don't be afraid of not knowing things. Most of your classmates probably don't know things. There are going to be some things you know better than them, and vice versa. You are a beginner. Nobody expects you to know all of the book knowledge. If so, you would have had an MD and you would have been practicing for 20 years. So know that these gaps are great to make you a better physician that you are going to be. The most important thing about third year, try to take nothing personal, especially if you are on certain rotations. Stakes are just really high and people want to ensure they're giving the best patient care. So if somebody talks to you in a more agitated tone, or things like that, just for the moment because the stakes are really high, you know, it's okay. Like if it's not a consistent thing, it's nothing that you did wrong, and if you did, they're going to try to correct you. They just want to make sure that the patient is safe and that they're doing everything they can for them. The patient is who matters the most in the moments. Even though you're learning, they matter the most. As well, if someone points out something you did wrong or something you didn't know, you are not a failure. You are not a horrible medical student. You did not miss something. This is just a part of third year and being a learner. So take confidence in that. Know it's going to be hard. This is meant to find things you don't know and to teach them to you so you do know them and don't miss them in future settings. So all in all, third year is an experience. It's a ride. Each rotation is a moment in itself. And as you go through, you'll find the ones that you feel like you really connect with, and other ones are like this is cool and I appreciate what the people here do, but this is not for me. So I'm currently loving it. We have 4 months left of being a third year student, and then I'll transition to being a fourth year. So if you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask in the comments, or you can DM me on Instagram or TikTok at the same handle, Ash the Med Bae. But thanks guys for watching, and until next time, friends.